I understand the one that's spitting talking points right now. Are you the house Negro or the field Negro that you're referring to? So I just want to make sure your question was about denigrating black people. That literally was your question. You have a Republican fool who is talking right now about, you literally just said that black men, you actually just said this is an election about house or field. This is the nonsense that we are listening to right now by those that are supporting Donald Trump.
Yep, you heard that shit right. And I had to say, you heard that shit right. Because this black man had the nerve to be on Beyonce internet and say there's house Negroes, there's field Negroes, and basically the field Negroes were the ones voting for Trump. Now we're going to watch this entire clip. I'm going to let y'all know. We're going to watch this entire clip to see how this brother came on here so lost. So lost. We're going to figure out how he came on here so lost. And then he felt comfortable saying that the field Negroes are going to be with Trump. Let's get into this, y'all. Let's get into this. And just for reference, we're going to watch a clip of Malcolm X's speech, Field Negroes, because he obviously he didn't listen to that clip, to that whole speech. Because I've listened to this whole speech. I took a foundational black class inside college, dealing with political justice and all that stuff. And there's no way he gonna use Malcolm X to justify this bullshit right here. Malcolm X would never vote for Trump. Especially not on no Kamala Harris. But he definitely wouldn't have voted for Trump. But y'all, let's start from the beginning.
The editor-in-chief of Bloomberg. I want to move on to what Donald Trump has said about an issue near and dear to both of your hearts. The issue of black Americans and Latino voters. Kamala Harris has been doing interviews on black media. Trump, though, is overperforming in polling with both groups compared to past Republicans. Here is what he said when he was campaigning in Pennsylvania.
Any African-American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined because they are really screwing you. They are really screwing you.
It is Kamala, for the record, but he is denigrating voters for making a choice that he does not like. Shelley, to you, what does he achieve with this?
Well, first of all, how is he denigrating voters?
He's saying that they are being, for lack of a better word, screwed.
Taken advantage of. They're being taken advantage of. They're paying higher pricing. They're working class, the ones that he's talking about, working class, lower middle class. They're paying more for food, they're paying more for gas, and they're being taken advantage of.
But
and
Shelley,
over the course of 30 years, they voted.
He also said that they had to have their head examined. That is not something that is a compliment.
Obama just told me the same thing. I've got black women telling me I'm not really he inferred them. He implied them. He certainly did. He even threatened us with, you're lucky Michelle's not here. I mean, come on. Let's not make things up. Let's be honest here, and let's really be clear what's being said. If you're an African-American man, look, let me boil this election down in the African-American community to a very simple a reference to great Malcolm X. This race is between House African-Americans and field African-Americans. And the field African-Americans are going for Donald Trump. I'm talking about your men who build, your men who put things together, your men who work with their hands, your men who do things, not the men who push paper, or the men who are connected to power and want to continue to be connected to power.
Now, this brother had the nerve to come on here and said that this is the difference between field African Americans and house African Americans. Now, if you know the great Malcolm X's quote, I'm going to go ahead and insert that here for you just so you can hear it from his mouth.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro back during slavery. There was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro They lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. They got sick. The house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble.
Shelley, sir, I am sorry to let you know this, but according to Malcolm X, you would be a house Negro. You would be a house Negro because you love master and all the black stereotyping that Trump doing, the shoes, the mug shots. Black people being having shoes don't define being African American. My boyfriend, he loves some expensive ass shoes, but guess what? He ain't buying them gold ass, weird ass looking shoes. Being black don't mean I got a mug shot. But that's the kind of stuff that house Negroes do. Just, if you want to use Malcolm X, I'm going to use it with you. Because house Negroes say we. We got nice shoes, Donald Trump. Because obviously that moved you. We got nice mug shots, Donald Trump. Because I guess y'all got mug shots together. Because, you know, house Negroes are the master sick. The house Negro sick. See, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. He is satisfied with coming up on this show, making black people look crazy. And y'all love to push this narrative about black men are moving towards Trump. Yes, some black men are finding Trump appealing. But let's not sit here and lie and act like the amount of black support that Obama got was not more than typical. He was a first, and he was also a man. Kamala Harris is a woman, and she's also African American. She got a lot going against her right now. Let's just be honest. But Kamala Harris will get the vast majority of black support. She will get 87% of black men voting for her. She will get the vast majority of black women voting for her. You know what Trump's having a problem with? He's having a problem with white women now leaving his campaign. But nobody want to talk about it. They love to just pinpoint on the black men issue. When everything is said and done, Kamala Harris will get the vast majority of black men support. Shelby, the house Negro, because his words, would be an outlier. Let's just be honest. Because he's voting against his own self-interest. He's saying that bills is high, all the stuff is high. Yeah, all that stuff is high. It's a little bit more than when Trump was in office. But you know whose economy Trump had? He had Obama's economy. And for you to have an issue with what Obama said, Obama's just saying what everybody else is saying, thinking.
Is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
And he said it out loud. And that's what you're mad about. There are some African American men, it is true, that won't vote for Kamala Harris for the simple fact that she's a woman. And they feel like black women, we nag, we tell you too much. But that's the time for another discussion. But don't sit here and act like Donald Trump is offering anything for African Americans other than full immunity for police officers, stop and frisk policies, broken glass policies. Because other than that, I believe Kamala Harris is the only person that has made plans specifically to help black Americans and black men specifically, from healthcare initiatives to apprentice initiatives, getting more black men into being teachers. Because seeing yourself and who's educating you makes a difference. It makes a difference. $1 million up to $20,000 forgivable loans for black men and black businesses specifically. What is Trump offering? Because he didn't put none of the platinum plan that y'all love to brag about into fruition. None of it went into fruition. None that I can remember. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. But let's keep on going.
So are you denigrating African American men who are professionals who work in white collar jobs? Is that what I'm hearing from you, or
no?
I'm just trying to understand, is Shelley the House one or the field woman? I'm just trying to understand that part. I'm just trying to understand. We have someone who's spitting. I'm just trying to understand the one that's spitting talking points right now. Are you the House Negro or the field Negro that you're referring to? So I just want to make sure. Your question was about denigrating black people. That literally was your question. You have a Republican fool who is talking right now about. You literally just said that black men. You actually just said this is an election about House or field. This is the nonsense that we are listening to right now by those that are supporting Donald Trump.
Not what I said,
that is actually what you just there's only clearly you must be in your own talk. I'm not sure what kind of radio show you have that you can't listen to your own thing. So you actually just said
for Trump.
Again, do you understand? You sound absurd and silly. And so let's actually talk about the substance of your question. The substance of the question was around denigrating. The substance of the question was denigrating black and Latino communities.
Sir, the substance of what I said is very clear.
My name is Michael. And we thank you that. So the point here, the question that was raised around denigrating black and Latino communities. And
all right, my brother, let me answer the question.
The concerning
Are you going to let me answer the question?
The concerning part.
Are you going to let me answer the question?
Shelley, you made the point saying that.
And he's right. He is filibustering the point. First of all, you brought up House and field. You brought that up. You use the point from Malcolm X incorrectly. And then you said about the field brothers is the ones that are going to vote for Trump. People, he went into Detroit, 71% African American city, called it a third world country, called it a shithole, and they vote for him. These are people that are unionized. These are people that are doing something with their hands, you know? Because you don't like people that push paper. You don't like doctors, lawyers, all those other good things. African Americans, they want to be educated too. What's wrong with being educated? But going back to that. So Trump, the person who's against unions, who's against people getting their full overtime, the person who said that he did everything he could to get not to pay overtime. These are the people that you feel like are going to vote for him. And yes, some of them will vote for him. But not the vast majority. And what you said is so insulting. Like, that's what you don't get. You had to, and this is what I don't get about Trump surrogates. They have to make insults to get their point across because they don't have a point. Like, the guy got lost in his own sauce. He couldn't even remember that he made this reference. He couldn't understand where he was within that reference. And Michael Blake had to like, sir, do you not remember what you just said? Which one are you? You got lost in your own sauce, brother. And he's like, let me explain my point. You could have just said your point. Is he denigrating African Americans and Latinos, or he's not? Because it is a denigration to say, well, if you vote for Kamala Harris, something is wrong with you in the brain. And y'all was all so mad about Joe Biden say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Shit, if you didn't vote for him, you ain't black. Because guess what? Donald Trump wanted to put African Americans underneath the fucking ground. He didn't want to rent to us. He wants to give police blanket immunity. And we just saw what happened when police believe they have too much power. But what happened in Arizona? Like, it's like, let's keep on going.
Yeah. You made a point saying that you believe that
the point I'm making, ma'am, Sarah, the point I'm making is this. The men who get up every day and make things happen with their hands, they build things, they're plumbers, they're electricians, they're working for Amazon. These men who are coaching 7 and under football, not because their son or daughter plays, but because they want to keep brothers off the streets and they're volunteering their time. These men are going for Trump. These men, and I used an analogy made famous by the great Malcolm X. So if you're saying that I'm denigrating anybody, then you must assume that he was denigrating somebody. So don't even throw that word out there again, my brother.
So Michael,
the fact of the matter is that's what you're seeing in the black community.
Shelley,
so I'm not denigrating anybody.
We have heard the filibuster now. So the point yesterday,
I answered your question.
When Vice President Harris was in Detroit with Charlemagne the God, and we're talking about Detroit versus everybody. So the reference that was just made, he's essentially communicating that the people in Detroit and Milwaukee and Philly that are doing work, manufacturing jobs, putting in for their communities, are going to vote for Donald Trump, a man who has no policy, no support, who called for the death penalty on black men and has repeatedly been against us. So let's be abundantly clear. You have a choice. You can follow the rhetoric of someone who is literally calling you a house or field black man, or you can follow the black woman who was a DA, an AG, a United States Senator, a Vice President, an HBCU alum, a sorority sister who is actually helping black people. This is the decision you have in 20 days. To follow people like Shelley, who is saying this rhetoric. We've heard his filibuster.
How has she helped black people?
We could listen to Shelley or to Clarence Thomas.
Mr. Wynter, you had your point. I'm just trying to let both of you.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, like, the reality is this. You have a scenario right now where you have on one side a black woman who is saying, how do we help our communities? To your earlier question, Sarah, around how can you do both? On one side, you have Vice President Harris, who is articulating how we can help domestically and abroad. Donald Trump sent COVID tests to help Putin. So while your black families, house or field, referring to what Shelley is talking about,
that's misinformation, sir.
We're dying.
That's misinformation.
We're dying because of Donald Trump's policies.
That's misinformation.
You know, it's
That's
amazing.
Misinformation.
We will focus here.
We are going to leave this here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Blake, Shelley Wynter, thank you both for joining us.
Why don't you correct the misinformation?
Have a good day
for joining us.
For your radio show.
Michael Blake was there to put Shelley Wynter in his place, and Sarah did the best she could with all that was going on. But how has Kamala Harris helped African American communities? She has put bills forward for black maternal mortality. I guess that wouldn't matter to you because she's a woman. She has put forth bills for funding HBCUs. She's put forth lots of policies specifically pertaining to black people. She even has she has a council of black men that come and help her with policies to help black communities. But everything is misinformation when it comes to Trump. Y'all tell me, am I missing something? Am I missing something here? I gotta leave this where it is, but y'all tell me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.